Matheson, I'm here. Let's talk.
Ruby Kendall, I half expected you to show up in wolf form.
You said no shifter activity. That would count as shifter activity, wouldn't it?
True enough. Still, showing up in your human form is unexpectedly civilized. Maybe there's hope for your kind after all.
Don't hold your breath. Well, you wanted to talk. And you seem like the type who likes the sound of their own voice. So talk.
My request is pretty straightforward. You agreed to come into my custody, permanently, and tell your clan to stand down. You also helped me to take down other leaders in the shifter communities. In exchange, your clan gets to peacefully fade out of existence over a few generations, instead of being slaughtered where they stand like the others.
To what end?
Peace. Order. Safety for humankind.
I'm betting you tried this speech on Cal, right? Guess what? It didn't work. Even in the end, he couldn't kill me, and he still helped us. Your bullshit won't work on me either.
And here I was thinking you were far more rational than that hot-headed barbarian. We are everywhere. My operation is spread out all over North America, and we're beginning to connect with other groups across the world. We will win, in the end.
You're delusional if you think I'm going to willingly side with the people who killed my mom, just for the sake of taking down the rest of my kind. Protecting my clan today means nothing if it means the death of shifters tomorrow. People like you have always tried to end our existence. Since the first gift of magic to the world, you've been trying to rewrite history to exclude magic and remove anyone who doesn't fit that narrative. Magic has already been getting diluted naturally for 1,000 years. Isn't that enough for you?
It's not that simple. There's a balance that has to be kept in the natural world. A balance between order and chaos. We know that magic is at the center of that balance. We've known that for hundreds of years, in fact. Historically, one side or the other takes too much, and it falls to people like you and I to correct it.
I've had the same history lessons as you. I know that a balance has to be kept. That's why we give back to our communities, protect humans, donate money, set up the transition program for the terminally ill. It's why we don't turn new people without extensive application processes, and why clans can't even do that unless their natural growth rate is below a certain percentage. We've been careful for decades. We just want to exist.
That's all well and good, but the shifter birth rate is still pretty high, don't you think?
What do you mean?
I mean that pure, powerful ancient blood of yours is starting to interfere. Thanks to your clan turning comparatively few shifters over the last several hundred years, you rely on naturally occurring births, which keeps your power inside the clan and allows it to grow stronger with each generation, instead of waning as it gets diluted with regular human blood. Your mother was unprecedented in her power as it was, but then she shacked up with some pureblood out of New York and out popped two perfect twins, a matched alpha and beta set, each carrying more power than their parents put together. Can you see how that might make things a little unfair?
What are you going to do? Control the birth rate? You're not a god. People have kids, it happens.
I don't want to be a god. I want to make sure that you and your kind don't become gods.
We are simply out here, existing. We're not hurting anyone. If a shifter sets a single paw, claw, fin, or talon out of line, the law comes down on them. Hard. We keep our house clean. Can you say the same about yours? Looks to me like you've spent the last decade murdering and maiming innocent shifters just for sport.
Be that as it may, we couldn't do it alone. We had to show the world what you are. Fear is a powerful motivator, but we had to weaken you first. I'll say this for shifters, you all have some very strong, supportive communities, which is why we settled on a series of accidental deaths to bump some of the key players off the board. Take out the pillars of the community, and it's easier to deal with the rest.
Key players. You killed a single mom of 2 kids who consistently did good things for her clan and her human community just because she had influence? Just because people loved her?
Because she made your people stronger, and she made you stronger. We needed you to be vulnerable.
What are you saying?
You're one of the reasons she's dead, Ruby. If you had come into this world as a regular shifter, we could have put Evergreen on the back burner, let them fade away peacefully into nothingness after the fall of the greater shifter community. But you, with all your power, you couldn't be ignored. Your brother is powerful, but he's nothing without your influence. You were the perfect catalyst.
Catalyst to what?
We'd been perfecting medication to inhibit shifter judgment. It had been tested on a few other alphas and alpha heirs before you. All of them went feral within a matter of hours. People got scared seeing their neighbors turn into violent creatures. And after seeing how efficient it was, we were very confident that it would work on you. So confident, in fact, that I was the one to shoot you with the serum dart. I wanted to watch the last of the Kendall line fall.
That day when I had my first turning, it was about a year too early. It wasn't a fluke. It was your influence.
Bingo. But you fought it for hours. And even though you did eventually give in, we weren't expecting that you could come back from that.
And Cal? That family of hikers, were they part of your plan too?
All collateral damage. Cal's panic set off a chain of events that ended with you brutally murdering a family. It was great for business. The human media now knew just how dangerous shifters could be. For a moment, we had the upper hand, but then your brother turned you back and our plan went to shit. The undercover agents that originally took the contract on your mother were the first to propose taking Cal into our care. See, your stay at the medical facility was a risk to us. The serum was in your blood, and if the administration picked up on it, our plan would be uncovered before you were off the board. So we decided to use Cal against you, make it look like retaliation when he killed you. Which, of course, we both know he failed at.
You're worried about shifter power, and the vampires too, based on your hunts against them. But you and your crew have done more harm in the last decade than all magically gifted beings on the continent have done in the last 100 years.
I'd do it again.
So you're just openly admitting to multiple murders, attempted murders, abuses, and a plethora of other crimes? You're not even the slightest bit ashamed of yourself?
What does it matter? You're an animal, and you're not leaving this forest. See, I'm not an honest man, Ruby. I might have been stretching the truth when I said I'd be here alone. Luckily, I do have humility. At least enough to know that I can't take you down by myself. You have over 30 weapons trained on you, from behind that building, the crest of that hill, and up in the trees. I would have engraved your name on each silver bullet, but that seemed a bit overdramatic. So I hope you said goodbye to that pathetic brother of yours, and the simpering trainee who follows you around like a lovesick puppy. I would hate for them to find your mangled body out here without having a chance to say their farewells.
As much as I hate to admit it, we do have something in common after all. I'm not honest either. You know me to be a lone wolf, always running away from everyone, keeping my distance so I don't hurt them. And I'll grant you that's who I've been trying to be. You lured me here knowing that I'd isolate myself to keep them all safe. But if there's one thing I've learned from my mother, my brother, my mate, and my clan, it's that we're stronger together. The times I've thrived have been the times I've let them in and leaned on them for support.
Very sweet that you've learned your lesson, but it's a bit too late, don't you think?
Not when you're this cocky. I'm doing what I was born to do.
Sacrificing your life to save your kind. If that's what helps you die with a clean conscience, then you're welcome to it, and with my good wishes. But you can't buy yourself any more time. Fire! What? I said fire!
And I said, we're stronger together. I didn't come alone. I brought the whole damn administration.
We've got your back.
Covering you from the forest, Alpha Kendall.
Ground Team Lima reporting in. Enemies are neutralized. Avian team here. We've got eyes in the skies. The situation is stable.
The vampires stand with you, Shifter clans.
How?
You're right about one thing. My magic is terrifying. Even more powerful than I could have expected. But it turns out when you accept your life's purpose, you get even stronger. I honestly thought your hunters would be more of a challenge.
What did you do to them?
I kept their attention on me. Only on me. Not on their own will, and certainly not on the swarm of shifters sneaking up on them. My family, my mate, disarming them and putting them in cuffs. They also didn't notice the vamps soothing them into a soft, dreamless sleep. It was a bit difficult to keep them all under my control while listening to your monologue, but luckily for me, you'd already given them the first half of the order when you told them to ignore all else and stay focused on me. Their minds were easier to bend thanks to that.
You're bluffing. If there were that many shifters here, I would have noticed them.
Would you? We work with each other to share what we have for the greater good, which is the best of all the strength and stealth available to the animal kingdom. And after over a decade of you and your hunters harming and killing us just for existing, well, you've pissed us all off. You thought you'd win just by picking me off? No, Trevor. You would have barely made a dent.
What are you going to do now? Kill me? Use more of your power? Rip me apart like the unhinged animal we both know you are?
I'm going to breathe easier for the rest of my life, knowing that my mother is avenged, and you're rotting in prison with all of your friends alongside you. I'm going to put my time and energy into protecting and building up my community like my mother would have wanted, and after I've testified in court against you, I'm never again going to spare you a single thought because you don't deserve it.
Bite me.
Was that a request? I thought not. Restrain him and get him on the truck to Seattle.
You can't do this!
See you in court.
You really could have bitten him.
And do a mountain of your paperwork for my trouble? Absolutely not.
Can you and your team run a final perimeter sweep? We checked the buildings and outbuildings, but we want to make sure we didn't miss anyone in the woods. No one can sniff them out like you can.
You've got it.
I'll take Josh and run the northwest corner.
Rookie, you're with me. We'll start at the south and work our way up along the eastern property line. Meet back here.
Hey, I'm proud of you, Ruby. Really proud. Mom would be too.
Thanks. I'm sorry for earlier. I know I don't say it a lot, but I love you, Ethan.
I love you too.
Rookie, let's go. Yeah, I'm okay. I just need a minute. Adrenaline's wearing off. What are you... You were terrified. I was half a second away from bursting out of my skin the entire time. The guy who ordered my mom killed was right there in front of me. Right there. I did want to, yeah. And then I didn't. I don't want to lose control again, Ricky. And if I can face that evil incarnate while keeping my cool, then maybe that means I'll be okay. Maybe it means I'll never lose control again. Thank you for trusting me and for following my orders. I know it was difficult to watch me face him. I'm not worried about that. I've stepped up as Alpha officially. I'm not leaving Evergreen. Which reminds me, When I spoke to Hadley about assuming my position as Alpha, he also indicated that the administration would approve you for a license to roam if you wanted one. Well, yeah. I know you haven't done the full 2 years, but you've more than met the qualifications. You don't have to use it, but it's good to have. Kind of like a driver's license. You have a lot of freedom. I do recommend you get it, yeah. As to whether you use it, go off on your own, go back to your old life. What I want doesn't matter, Rookie. It's your life. I could never presume to tell you what to do. Then stay. Please. Stay with me at Evergreen. Stay with your family. We love you. I love you. I don't know. I guess I'm just happy. Happier than I've been in a long time. Oh no, it's far from over. There's going to be a trial. Ethan and I have to do some paperwork and bureaucratic nonsense for me to officially take over as Alpha, and there's a celebration. Yeah, when a new Alpha steps in officially, there's a ritual and a party. It's tradition. No, I was acting Alpha. No Alpha can be official until they're 21, and I was never fully, completely established. I tried to step out before that happened, and Ethan was never approved to completely replace me, just temporarily. Evergreen Clan hasn't had an official, fully capable Alpha since my mom died. It will be. Most of the clan, and even some of the administration, has been looking forward to it for a long time. It's a pretty sacred thing. And Evergreen knows how to throw a party. I'm sure Maggie would be delighted to have your help. She's kind of in charge of it. But for now, we'd better get back to the rendezvous point. Ethan will be able to sense that I'm okay, but he'll get anxious if we're gone too long. And besides, Hadley might have to take the whole kit and caboodle back to Seattle, but our team is headed home. With a pit stop at the diner, of course. I could eat an elephant. Well, another minute or two won't hurt.